Well, if you watch closely, you can see the moment when the House health care bill became a bipartisan one, at least in the eyes of Democrats. This is the vote count in progress on Saturday night. You'll see the one pop up in the yay column for Republicans. That one is Louisiana Republican Congressman Joseph Gao, and he's the only Republican who backed that legislation. Congressman Gao joins us live right now. And Congressman, why did you vote the way you did?
My district has a lot of poor people, a lot of people who are uninsured, and I believe that the health care reform bill would help with the poor members of my district to obtain the medical insurance that they need. So at the end of the day, I had to vote according to my conscience, and I voted to support the health care reform bill.
How do you look at this? In other words, the Democrats' plan obviously expands coverage, and that seems to be where you're pointing, saying, listen, at least the Democrats' plan offers more coverage, albeit with $1 trillion price tag. The Republican plan didn't cost more but didn't add coverage. How are you reconciling the aspects and your sense of an obligation to provide more health care to people in your district and your obligation to all Americans not to continue the bankrupting of this country?
Again, that was a very difficult decision, but I believe that at this point in time, we have the duty to provide our people with the necessary medical coverage, because it is an issue of life and death for many people in this country. But again, I hope that the administration will look at the issue of the deficit crisis, and hopefully that we can cut other areas of spending in order to offset this reform bill.
What are your thoughts on the government's failure, Democrat or Republican, at this point to do some of the more obvious things like break up the monopoly and free up basic market forces that drive so much of our economy, granted with rules? Why is the government so hesitant? Why is the government so hesitant to get involved with just releasing the choice to everybody in this country, as opposed to having a debate about either doing nothing or consolidating power inside the government?
Well, obviously, we are a country of rights. Our country was founded on the basic freedoms of individuals, and I believe that as a country, we have to follow the founding principles of our nation based on rights, but at the same time, government does have a duty to balance out those rights, the duty to take care of people when others are unable to do that. So that is the reason why I believe that I voted for it.
What are your thoughts on the two-party system's ability to solve fundamental problems like this? Is it appropriate that policy issues where there clearly are better and worse answers, where you're able to provide more health care for more people with less money certain ways, and you're able to provide more health care for more people with more money other ways, and no health care for no people other ways? And those aren't really Democrat or Republican issues. Those are fundamental human issues, and yet we watch party line votes as if we're playing a Red Sox Yankees here, when we're talking about a system for health care for everybody in America, irrespective of whether they're a Democrat or Republican.
And you're absolutely right. One of my biggest frustrations, as well as the frustrations of many members on the Hill, is the lack of bipartisan nature on the Hill. Washington, D.C. is a very partisan place, and unfortunately that it is so. I hope that in the future we can come together as leaders of this country to work for American people, to work towards the right solutions rather than to simply vote along party lines.
You sound like somebody who doesn't live and work in Washington, D.C. As somebody who has that point of view and yet has to work inside of a phenomenally partisan world, where if you don't step in line, you're going to get called and yelled at by Rahm Emanuel. If you don't step in line, the Republican Party will call and threaten to take your funding away. There's very powerful leverage that the party bosses have over people like yourself if you don't play party politics and instead try to do something insane like actually try to advocate for good policy. How do you fight that?
I believe that we just have to stick to our basic principles of serving the American people. And there are many good people in the Republican Party as well as the Democratic Party who are willing to work along party lines. For example, Chairman Oberstar in the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee is a wonderful person, a person that will cross party lines to arrive at the right solutions. As well as the Republican Party, we have many members who just want to arrive at the right solution for American people. We just have to find ways for us to get there.
Have you been punished by the Republican Party?
No, I have not. My leadership has been very good to me. They respect my decisions, even though it's something that they might not agree with. But at the end of the day, we are all professionals, and they are very supportive of who I am, and that they are proud that I'm a member of the Republican Party.
And no threat to cut off funding or anything like that?
No.
Representative Gallo, real pleasure. Thanks for making the time for us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, the takeaway here after this.